Hello, it's Christina Caudill, and welcome to the Sanctuary Starcast series. Today, I want to talk to you about Chiron and Aries conjunct the Sun. So today, Chiron joins the Sun at 5 degrees Aries. And so the Sun illuminates what it touches. So we want to be looking around and just staying awake and present to symbols of Chiron in the world. So if you ever had any questions about what Chiron and Aries is about, today is a day to observe and also to feel, right? I would even feel in the solar plexus area. You know, that area may need some clearing and some healing right now because that is the seat of our confidence. And Aries is all about our confidence and our willpower, right? So this is very much that orange chakra, right, that really holds the seat of our confidence. And Chiron and Aries can be very much about my ability to be my own self-advocate in the world. And it comes back to our identity, right? Who we present ourselves to be, especially with the Sun illuminating it, right? Because the Sun has a lot to do with our public image and our role in the world. And I think so many of us are now having to readjust and recalibrate to a new sense of self, because when our typical role in the world is shifted or disrupted, then we really have to look at who are we. And that can bring up all kinds of internal talk around being good enough, doing enough, right? And now, where the whole world is pretty much on a lockdown, there's only so much we can do in the usual ways out in the world, right? If we can't venture out, we can't be who we've always known we're to be, or to do what we are used to doing, then that can really take some adaptation to the new sense of self. And I've often associated Chiron with adaptation, right? Because we can sense our vulnerability. Like in some ways, maybe we feel we don't measure up, or we're actually wounded, Chiron being the wounded healer. And now is a time to really honor and accept the sense of vulnerability, and even us being afraid, right? The afraid of the unknown. But Chiron ultimately wants us to adapt, right? Adapt to this new world. And the thing about Aries is Aries can be very impatient. It wants things now, right? It's ruled by Mars. And that impatience can really work against us right now. We really want to take things patiently because we want to know the terrain that we're in first, and we're still figuring that out. Chiron meeting the Sun can really have that wounded masculine, right? Even though, you know, we all have the yin and yang within us, the feminine and masculine, and the anima and animus. And so they are equally valuable. And right now, that yang side of ourselves is feeling wounded, is feeling insecure or vulnerable, likely. I also saw something recently on the news where Governor Cuomo from New York had said, we do not want to just take a Darwinian approach to, you know, the survival of the fittest to this coronavirus situation. And I thought that was really apropos for this experience with Chiron, because in Aries, right, that can very much be about who's stronger, right? Who is the greater warrior? Aries being about, you know, warriorship. I've often thought of Chiron and Aries about being the wounded warrior. It also makes me think about all of these healthcare workers who are on the front lines, and many of them getting very sick. So the Sun illuminating that is likely illuminating their struggle as well as those of us who are, you know, doing our part to stay inside. We have the gift of actually being able to look within ourselves and figure out who we really are, right? Knowing that life is precious. Are we truly living in accordance with our soul's intention? And Chiron is one of those, you know, gifts that can touch on our wounded area, and only by doing that can we really reach deeper within ourselves, right? So just ask yourself, what is happening in the world that is illuminating the beauty of being wounded, that actually connects us to our humanity. And I would also send our love and prayers out to those healthcare workers who now are really literally saving humanity. I'm going to, in a couple of hours, be interviewing Gray Crawford, one of my favorite fellow astrologers, and we're going to do a whole podcast episode on Chiron in Aries. That will come out next week, so make sure you are following me on Instagram at Radiant Astrology or signed up for my free newsletter at radiantastrology.com. You'll get a lot more great astrology content that way. All right, sending you so much love. I'll see you tomorrow. Bye-bye.